Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 17 of the Red Pilled Orange Pill Investor. And I thought I would actually make an effort to pop in during hours and actually demonstrate in real time while the market's open a roll. So you can see that Riot has been taking a little bit of a dump along with MicroStrategy and the Bitcoin mining stocks. And so you can see that I bought in at 17.33, which is not exactly at the high, but I could go through my history and see what the actual cost basis is. So it's at 17.73. Where's that purchase? Did I go way too far? Okay, here we go. So paid 17.73, sold a covered call, got paid 108, sold another covered call, got paid 62, sold another covered call, got paid 22. So you can see that if somebody else bought shares when I did at 17.73, they would just be down to whatever Riot is down. But I got paid another $100 here, got paid $60 here, got paid $20 here. So mine was at 170, 190-ish. I had to buy them back for $2, $1. So my cost basis is actually 1583-ish, 1583. So that doesn't mean that I didn't lose money. However, it just means that I lost less, which is so. In every trade is not going to be perfect right away. So the goal over time is to make more when you win and lose less when you lose. That's an overall improvement in efficiency. And so this covered call that I sold last week at the $14 strike, yeah, paid me $22, 22 cents per share, 100 shares. And there's only 2 cents left of it, and it's Wednesday. So do I want to collect a penny tomorrow and a penny on Friday, which you're not going to be able to buy this back for less than a penny. So really it's 3 days worth only a penny. What you can do is roll this position. Now I could just buy it and reopen it, but let's just roll this position and see it in real time. Now Robinhood, you have to be careful. They're automatically trying to roll me to next week, which is perfectly fine if you want to do that, and that might be the best thing to do. However, I like week to week. And so this is where I will probably part ways with a lot of the people, even the people that I definitely respect. So In the Money's YouTube channel is where I learned a lot about options. And he's got a great covered calls video. And he's even shared a spreadsheet where you can track what you bought it in for, how much you sold stuff, what your true cost basis is, and whatnot. And so what some people would do is, since my cost basis ended up being, what did I say, it was 1580 or something, if, you know, even me selling this this covered call at 14 put me at risk of losing whatever that is, between 14 and 1580. So if the price went up above 14, I would be forced to sell these at 14, and I guess I would have realized a loss of $1.80 per share, or 180 bucks. That actually doesn't scare me. I don't let the fear of losing money change my strategy. I have a strategy, and as long as none of my base assumptions have changed, then I continue to deploy the strategy. As long as it continues to work, then I will continue to do it. That's, to me, the red pill part of the red pill, orange pill investor. So I'm orange pilled, meaning that I think Bitcoin is the only uncorruptible, fair money that's ever been in use in the history of civilization, and I can't wait to see where civilization goes with it. However, from a red pill perspective, the stock market still exists. It tends to go up, and there are people on the other side of these trades that are more than happy to pay me a premium based on a certain value, and they want to collect the upside, and I'm happy to collect, on the, I guess, the downside or whatever. I'm willing to limit my upside in order to collect money every week. And so if, waiting another 2 to 3 days to collect this other penny doesn't make sense, and it doesn't really seem to make sense to me, I can roll this down, and even just rolling it to 8 cents, like, well, why would I waste my time for $6? But if you think about it, 1% of $12, or of a $12 stock is just 12 cents. So half of that is 5%, which would be 6 cents. So you can get 5% return on your investment by just rolling to this $12 strike, and that leaves a pretty good amount of callaway value if the price does go back above 12. I'll still profit from the current 1080 up to the $12 strike. So just rolling down and collecting the extra 6 cents or $6, that may seem like a waste of time in the grand scheme of things when 100 shares of this cost $1,000. It's not about the winning the lottery ticket, and if you want to do that, then just if you're trying to, I'll show it after, but if you're trying to win a lottery ticket, then buy a call for this Friday at the $60 strike and riot, and then maybe one week out of the next 50 years this will actually hit and you'll make a shitload of money. But you're going to lose that bet almost every time, 99.999% of the time. So I don't like low chances of success bets. I prefer high percentage bets. And chance of profit here, you got to take this with a grain of salt. It could be anywhere from, the real value could be 80% to 95% or, whatever. But there's an 88% chance that Riot ain't going back above 12 by this Friday. I like those odds. So this is just like, 88% of the time, this is getting an extra free $6. So now you'll see that there's a little bit of friction in here that I probably wouldn't actually even be able to get 8. Because if we do this, let's review the order. See, the bid-ask spread is actually between 5 and 8. So if I want to get this to hit right away, I would have to actually probably bid 5. So bidding 7 probably would not get this to go. So that's the only thing about trying to just shave off a little tiny bit. So I'm actually going to hit this 11.5. And maybe I only get 15 for it. So this is a low fill likelihood, but let's just try it and see what happens. So put this here, try to collect 15. I'm very, sure that it's not going to hit. Actually, it may have just hit. That's crazy. I thought I was going to have to try 14, but that usually means that it worked. So let's see, Riot. Yeah, what happened to my, oh, it placed. Usually it doesn't do that unless it executes. So let's try it again. Let's see, it tried to roll me to next week again. I guess that's a time saver for most people, but All right, so let's go down to shit. What did I try last time? 15. Let's just hit the ask and see. Sometimes when you're doing this, the ask will actually change. But let me count to 10 and see if this executes. Yeah, so now the bid ask shifted to 13. And that's why, so now I'm just going to put in 13. Let's see if we can get this to hit finally. And you can see the friction that I'm running into is you're not necessarily going to be able to collect this price. This should execute this time. There we go. Okay. Now, the other reason why, I mean, if your entire account is just 100 shares of Riot, yeah, you want to do this. You want to just walk it down by a penny and just try to get every little penny that you can out of it. Because when earning 5% for the week is literally like $5, and you get screwed and execute a trade at $4, I mean, now you've just sacrificed 20% of your profit. You're only making, instead of 5%, you're only making 4%. But this is how it's done. If you're using the roll feature. I mean, otherwise I can just click on this and close it. So buy to close, boom. If I close this for 16 cents, it'll just execute, and then I could just place a new trade at whatever date and whatever strike I prefer. Now, to avoid the risk that I've put myself, the risk that I've exposed myself to, because if I have to sell this at 11.5, I've lost a couple of bucks or whatever, based on the my cost basis of 15. Was it 15.80? I'll lose like $4 a share. But I said it before. To me, the mistake is buying at 17 before it goes down. So if you've already made that mistake, by causing that to adjust your strategy, oh, well, I paid $15 for this, I don't want to sell a strike for below that. That's just causing you to make more mistakes based trying to fix an earlier mistake. And in the stock market, you can't fix mistakes. That's the danger of it, but I guess also the beauty is there's no fixing a mistake. If you place a trade that goes badly, you can't do anything about it. So you have to just have complete amnesia. Like in football, when you make a bad play, they say you just got to start fresh and pretend that bad play never happened. So for me, I don't look at this stock I paid $15.80 for. I look at it as I own stock that's worth $10.80. That's how I base my trades. And if you own a stock that's worth $10.80, it doesn't do any good for you to pretend in your mind somehow that it should be worth 15 or it should be worth 17 because that's what you paid for it. Nobody gives a shit what you paid for it. People give a shit about what it's worth now. And buying Riot, let's do a limit order. So here's what people think Riot is worth right now. There are people bidding $10.78 for it, and there are people asking $10.79 for it. So everyone is in complete agreement on what Riot is worth. It's worth, there's a 1 cent bid-ask spread here. The disagreement is almost infinitesimally small. No one is in disagreement about what Riot is worth. So me trying to pretend like I think it's worth $17.70 and that's going to let me trade scared does not make any sense to me. That's called bag holding. You get stuck holding the bag, and now what am I going to do? I'm just going to sit on this 1070 and hope it goes up to 15 again. And if that doesn't happen for 6 months, now I've wasted 24 expiration dates that I could have sold cover calls on and gotten 20 cents a pop. Screw that. But there's other options. So you can go up and out as well. So 44 days from now, if I was like, oh, I'm too scared, I don't want to sell it for below 15.50. Okay. You can get 46 cents at 15.50. Now, I sell weekly calls, and I'm used to collecting 1% or 2 a week. You're looking at collecting 3% over the next, at 7 weeks? 6 to 7 weeks. 6 times 7 is 42. Okay. So between 6 and 7 weeks, you can collect this 3%. Now, the studies that I've seen, when you go out to 45 days-ish, you try to collect half of this in about 3 weeks. So I would be trying to collect half of 3%, so I'd be trying to collect 1.5% in 3 weeks, which is about 0.5% every week. It's actually not terrible. And if you're the type of trader that just literally cannot bring themselves to risk losing money, like, I don't know, do you play chess? And if you lose a single pawn, that's the game is over. I don't know. You can't win chess without sacrificing some pawns. So, but if it means that much to you that you don't want to take a loss or whatever, and the other thing, if I make 10 trades and I lose $4 on this one, but I made 5 on the other trades, I mean, some people will sell stocks at a loss just to offset their taxes at the end of the year anyway. This shit all averages out, as far as I can tell. As long as my account is consistently going up, over the long term, that's all I really care about. But if it makes you squeamish to choose a strike under your cost basis, even if I didn't account for me reducing my cost basis, I could sell this one $17.50, get $32. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not a fan. I generally don't do it, but it's rational, it's reasonable, and if that's your strategy, then just say that at the outset. Decide what your variables are, and decide ahead of time. If this happens, I will do this. If this happens, I will do this. And you don't want to kind of be like, oh, I'm going to sell weeklies. Oh shit, it dropped from 15 to 10. Now I'm too scared to sell weeklies. Now I'll do this. Just decide what you're going to do, and then over time, if it becomes obvious that that's not a winning strategy, then change your mind. But don't let just daily ups and downs change your opinion. So that's how to roll, and hopefully somebody got something out of it. All right, be good, y'all.